Alright, so this is Cordova's Team 2, Garrett here. I realized that a few things were covered up by panels and we weren't able to go over them, and a few things we kind of sped over due to having short time. For example, down here we didn't really get to go over our door or our push button enclosure very well. As you can see, it has the DC plus current come through here, DC positive, and it jumpers over to the start and stop. And you can see it right in here. I kind of sped through that, I realized, in the last portion of the video. We also put a cover over it to make sure it didn't get any rub damage when we open and close the door, and we also did the same down on that ground cable. As for the enclosure, you can see how we dashed it all off to show that it was all in the same enclosure. We have a negative coming down in here for the lights, jumpering them together. And up here we have a DC positive coming in, jumping them together. We had a bit of trouble with those lights when we were hooking them up through here and on this side. At first thought it was a wiring problem, realized that the bulbs don't work. So if you notice that in the video, that's why we didn't have any lights on. We got our ground hooked up down in there, and we made sure we hooked up all this with the jumper cable right there. The next thing is I realized that when my partner went over the solenoids here and the solenoids over on this side, we didn't really get to show you the wiring due to them being all closed up in there. So I'd like to go over that as well. Down here we got DC positive hooked up and DC negative. We also were supposed to have a ground cable, but in our puck solenoid, it didn't have a place to put a ground cable, so we had to ground it down here on TB2. And as for our other ones, we were able to hook up the ground on these, and we had our DC positives all going down through here for the vacuum, up, down, and extend retract solenoids. That last one was the puck solenoid, if I forgot to mention it. We also had a DC negative coming in, and it started on the extend. We then jumpered it to the up and down, and then put another jumper over here to the vacuum. At first on that one, we had a bit of trouble because there were some bars in between each of these, and we realized that the covers wouldn't be able to work around those. So we had to get new jumpers that were bigger and loop them into the inside of it, out back here, for it to actually work and keep these covers on for safety. So I thought I would go over that, and hope you enjoyed.